Hello, my name is Yana. Welcome to my channel and welcome back if you are already a follower of this channel. And today we're actually doing another speed build video and we are jumping on the excitement wagon of Eco Lifestyle Pack, which is coming out on the 5th of next month. And we are building a modern eco house with stuff that we already have available. So for example, I will be using one of those debug items, the solar panels, which came with, I think, Get Famous. And we are just playing around with the idea of having recycled materials. I imagine this being one house that has been built from multiple containers. So what I can count from here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think 6 containers stacked on top of each other, but there has been like materials used on the exterior and interior, so it doesn't look like this very containery house, but I do think those were like used when this was planned and when this was built to, you know, recycle some materials. I also imagine a lot of the things that they have here, like wooden surfaces and stones, are collected from old materials that have been used somewhere but reused here in this house. So, we are building this today in Willow Creek. This is one of those basic lots in the front of the map, and this is actually, I can't, because I had some trouble when I was filming this, so I didn't have the screen right exactly where I needed it to be, so it has been actually cut out, but I hope you don't mind. This is right next to the smaller lots in one of the neighborhoods on the front of the map. So I do have a story actually in mind for this family who lives in this house, but of course if you do decide to download this house, you can use whoever you want in this home and whatever stories you may have for them. So my idea is actually that the couple with their kids living here are actually, the other one is originally a person from Sulani, and also she or he used to be like in nature conservation field, and the partner is from the city, from San Maixuna, and they work as a politician, but their like main interest in the politics is the preservation of nature and protecting nature and stuff like that. So that's how they met. Their fields kind of clashed in this one thing one time, and they met and they just fell in love. And when they decided to make like start a family, they actually decided it was time to move out of Sulani and out of the city and move into the suburbs, but really do this kind of an eco lifestyle decisions when they moved. So here I have 2 kids' rooms. One is for toddler, one is for a teen or a child, and so I imagine them having 2 kids. So the color schemes I went with this house are a lot of like wooden tones and stones, and also some green colors, because what reminds us about nature more than the color green. So I don't know if that's very stereotypical, but I did really like the greens here. I don't build a lot with the green colors. I don't think this game, at least for now, has enough of green swatches that are, you know, very easy to put together. I don't know why, I just feel like green is one of those colors that we don't have enough of, or at least those green shades that I enjoy using. So here we are doing the front of the house. So this house has a lot of these sort of outdoors areas and nooks, and they have a lot of stairs going from one place to another, so you can use the interior stairs or the like exterior stairs. Did I say interior? Yes, interior and exterior stairs wherever you want to go. And we also have an office, which I do think is shared by the two adults, and also of course the kids can use the office if they do want to. And my idea for this house was to kind of do a house that is about eco lifestyle, but not maybe the very if some people may view eco lifestyle to be very, you know, that you can have all these modern equipment and stuff, but I don't think that's necessarily the truth right now in the world, because I do think they get most of their energy from those solar panels. And I did this kind of a pool around the house, which is actually not supposed to be a pool. I think it's more like a, not a natural pond, but it was made so there can be these animals and, you know, attract some insects and stuff that are good for the nature. So, you know, you have these things. And if you do have cats and dogs, I did put some pet items in this house, because I do think as well as they love the nature, they do like animals as well. So I did imagine that they would have at least a couple of animals, maybe dogs and cats as well. And you know, this was a lot of fun. This was so much fun that actually when I was building this, I did a lot of this like turning around and stuff like that, because I was just enjoying so much. So I wasn't actually like concentrating on making the build the easiest to edit, because I was just, you know, so in the zone while doing this. But I do think it worked out quite well. I do have some parts where I actually have some item and I jump to another place to put it in their place, because I just scroll through the menu and I'm like, okay, hey, I want to use this but not here, so I, you know, move the camera around to the place where I do want to place the item. So I hope you don't mind that. I am so excited for the new pack. It's going to be amazing. I'm really happy. I did watch the live stream that they did from the gameplay and also the materials, and I'm just super excited. And what I do think expansion packs should do is, you know, expand the game across the worlds and the universe. So I am really excited that that will be happening again this time. And yeah, it seems very interesting. I think it will bring a lot of new things into the game. And of course, as a builder, I'm so excited for new materials. They always, when we get a pack with good build and buy items, it just inspires me to do a lot of stuff. I have noticed that some people have commented on the things that usually happen. So when we get, for example, some shelves, the clutter items are attached to the shelves. So I do think that kind of restricts the use of those shelves. So when you're building, maybe you want to do like a couple shelves here and there, but the thing is, if they do have the clutter already there and you can't remove it, or they don't have different swatches with the same color tones but and different clutter, it will look very like repetitive something like that, because of the clutters. Obviously you wouldn't probably have like multiple items next like the same items next to each other in real life on the shelves. So you can kind of try and work around that with you know, placing some more clutter and making it look as different as possible. But I do hope they one day will give us more clutter and, you know, maybe make the shelves a little bit less empty, or make it possible to detach the clutter from the shelves. That would be so amazing, and that would make building so much more fun, because if you have played this game for a long time, it does, you know, the items that you use and the small clutter that we have, it does kind of feel like you're always using the same items. I'm not as creative as some people, so I'm not very good at making up, you know, furniture or using clutter in different ways. So that would help someone like me out a lot. So here I'm actually doing the open concept living, dining, and kitchen, and I really like how this one turned out. And I made this kind of a shelving unit thing, which I do think looks quite good. And I did use this Get Famous this sofa, which I never really use. I really like it, but it only has this item with 2 seats on it. It doesn't have like 3 ones anywhere. So, but I think it worked here quite well. And I think it's just, I also use this very raw kind of wooden floor that looks kind of unfinished, and I think that went well with the kind of idea of using repurposed materials. And it's just a lot of fun. And when we get to the master bedroom, you will see that I bring some Sulani inspiration there, which I did think that the person who is originally from Sulani wanted to make their bedroom kind of this, reminder of their home. And I do think that the family likes to visit there from time to time, as often as they can. And yeah, I just think this was a very fun idea. And of course, I think this house could work also in the new world. And I don't know if I will come back to this build and add some new items once the pack comes out. I'm very bad at that. Whenever a new pack is coming, I do get an inspiration to do that kind of builds often. But I'm one of those people that I just can't kind of go back to my old builds. It just doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me, and I rather like to do something new than, going back to the old one. And this home is kind of fun from its layout. I think it's not very traditional, so because it's been made out of these containers, or to say so, it has 3 floors, and the top floor is actually the master suite with their own balconies. And I do think that's a lot of fun. They have their master suite as well. I did cut out all the bathrooms from this speed build, but I will show you a screenshot of one of them in the end, so you will get to see that. It's very, light beige kind of toned, very similar to the rest of the house. And I really do enjoy nowadays using, these lighter and darker tones of wooden colors together. I don't know why, I think it looks good to me. I didn't used to be this way, so I don't know what changed. Of course, when, trends come and go, maybe you get some influence from them, and I do know, at least in the part of the world where I live in, I know that very natural tones are very fashionable at the moment in the interior design world, and maybe that has affected me as well. So I did use a lot of items here, but I do think there's also enough empty spaces in this home. For example, the kitchen is very open and airy, which I do think is fun, and it opens up into the living room, and there's a lot of bar stools as well next to the bar counters. So I do think this will be a lot of fun, for example, if you decide to have parties and stuff. And yeah, I'm really excited about this build actually. So it's been a lot of fun. This was a difficult one to edit, but I do think it looks it looks okay now. So I did cut some parts out because the material originally, it was I think 6-7 hours. And I also, I usually stop my editing, when I record the videos, I usually tend to do maybe 20 to 30 minutes recordings, and then I take a pause and just think and relax for a while, or it gets too tiring. But I was just so into this one that most of my recordings were almost an hour. So it just also, when you're editing, I always have to finish at least one clip. I usually try to do 2 in a row. So yeah, it was definitely more, time consuming and tiring as well, but I did it. we're done with that, and I'm just happy for this to come out finally. And it's just fun to build something inspired from the next pack. I know a lot of people are doing this right now, but I'm not wondering why not at all, why they wouldn't. It's very exciting. It's been a long time since we got a last pack, So it's it feels like it's the really proper time to get another pack and get new material and inspiration and stuff. And this backyard, it's not the biggest ever, but I do think because they have so many like balcony areas in the home, they actually have quite a lot of this outdoor space, even though the backyard itself isn't that big. And it also has these planter boxes, it has this kind of the fire pit where you can hang out and roast some marshmallows, and it does have quite a lot of areas to invite people in. I don't usually throw parties ever when I play with The Sims, but I do think I should do that at some point and try to finish all the possible parties with the the golden prize or whatever it's called. And here I did this kind of I know it's like in shadows because there's actually a balcony over it, but I thought this was kind of fun because there's a window and you can see the plants in between, so I thought that was kind of a fun architectural feature. But we're doing the office now, which goes with the same color scheme. It's a little bit darker since I also use some black here, and I use these my first pet stuff sofas because they work so good as this kind of a sectional corner sofa. And I did imagine these kind of magazine things that have been framed on the wall are probably something that either of the adults have actually done in their work field, and they have got some recognition in the local magazines. So I thought that was a kind of a fun idea that they have actually, framed those in their office to remind them of the good work that they're doing, even though sometimes it's very hard and time consuming. But yeah, it's this one here where I placed a plant right now. I will actually go off camera and delete it because I do forget that there's actually an access from that wall to the exterior stairs that go out onto one of the balconies. So I will take that plant off and put a door there instead. So there is actually another way to get upstairs. The other stairs going into the master suite are from the office. But because there is no other thing than the master suite, the other people in the house don't actually need the stairs so much, like the toddler and the teen or child. So actually I don't think it was necessary to have the stairs in this kind of public space or something like that. And here we're doing the toddler room, and we are going all green in this home, like all green. And I don't know if it's like too one colored for some people, but I just I do think the kids like to be in nature and like animals as well. The teen/kid will have like a small pet bed in their room, and I do think like one of the pets, like maybe the cat or something, will be theirs and they just love it so much, or maybe they have a small dog. But yeah, I do think the kids are very, very into animals and being outdoors and everything like that, just like their parents. And I did add a high chair in the toddler room. I don't know if anyone uses it, but if you do, you actually have one and you can move it into downstairs if it's more easy for you. And here we're actually doing the teen/kids room, which I think turned out quite fun. It has a lot of character, but I think it also goes with the eco lifestyle, like this kind of a makeshift shelving unit from Discover University, and also the same color scheme. So I did think this was kind of fun. I do keep the clutter to a minimum at some places of this house, but I didn't think, if they're very eco-conscious, maybe they don't believe in having too much stuff. What they have, they appreciate, and they have some unique memories to them as well. So here we actually have moved on to the master suite, which, like I said earlier, does have these kind of Sulani vibes. And I do think it's because one of the people were from Sulani, so they did want to have this kind of like a relaxing oasis spot which reminds them of home when they get homesick, and they do feel like it's very like them, and you know, it fits their personality and stuff. And Laayis also, I imagine, was the place where they actually met, so I think that's fun for both of them actually that way. So I do think their story goes that somehow like the one living in Sulani and working in conservation was actually like trying to do something. I have actually built like this conservation center at some point when Sulani had come out, so I do imagine there was like some kind of a conference there or something like this like, you know, having to do with the Sulani situation and keeping the waters clean and stuff, and this politician came there and they were like passionate about the same kind of topic and so on, so they just hit it on, you know, and it became this kind of a sweet love story kind of a thing. And here we're doing the biggest balconies of them all, and I really do love this as a part of the master suite. I think it's very relaxing. It has like sun tanning pads, and I used these ones that came in a free update actually, and I've never gotten to use them. I'm not really sure how I feel about them, but I actually did like this green plum bob swatch of them to be used in this particular build. So it's always exciting when you get to use, you know, an item that you don't really use or never used before. And yeah, it's just fun. I've been thinking about doing like maybe some challenges for myself, you know, to try and use the items that I never get to or want to use, because there's quite a lot of them, and it's very easy to get stuck on your like own kind of building ruts, where you tend to use all the same items, and you know, it kind of comes and goes as well, like what you like to build. At least for me it does. And at one point I was building a lot of suburban houses, but then I, you know, kind of forced myself out of building them, so now I never actually build them. So it's kind of funny. I do try to think about keeping my, you know, kind of builds as, you know, how do you say it? It's monipuolinen in Finnish, but that doesn't help you. Like kind of versatile. That's the word. I do try to keep my builds kind of versatile at the moment, so that it would be fun for you to watch, and my channel wouldn't have like all these similar kind of builds, at least not very close to each other, because I do think it will get tiring to build and tiring to watch, you know, too many similar kind of builds also. So yeah, so that's my kind of thinking behind when I try to choose what to build and when with this channel and for my gallery. So far it's done. Oh, that came so quickly. Okay, so please, if you did like this, please subscribe, like and comment, and let me know what you think of the new eco lifestyle pack that's coming out very soon. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Bye!